Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you want to learn how to create your own bodysuit pattern using your own measurements, then stay tuned, this video is for you.
Boy, I've been watching you.
Here are a list of measurements that you're going to want to take. Please keep in mind that this pattern we're about to make is designed only for stretch fabrics. Once you have your basic bodice pattern, you can literally customize it into anything you want. This basic bodice is perfect to have as a baseline where you can literally add sleeves, change up the armhole, neckline, etc. For this video, I'm using a straight ruler as well as a curved French ruler, some measuring tape, some marking tools, paper scissors, and some pattern paper. I'm using some craft paper from Amazon for my pattern paper. Once you cut your paper, you're going to fold it in half, one side for the front and the other will be for the back pattern. To start off, I'm going to draw two lines, one vertical and one horizontal. This line will be your center front line and the other line will be your shoulder line. Starting with the neckline, I'm going to mark 3 inches on both the center front and on the shoulder line. Using my curved ruler, I'm just going to connect those dots, and now you've got yourself a neckline. I'm going to start off by inputting my vertical measurement, my shoulder to bust line, my bust to waist line, and then my hip line. I'm going 5 inches down from the waistline, and then from my waist, I'm going to measure down to my crotch depth. Because I'm tall, mine's is 13 inches. I'm just going to mark an extra inch from my crotch depth. This will be for the seam allowance for when I'm finishing it off. Next, I'm just going to input my horizontal measurements. Because we're using stretch fabric, whatever measurement you get, you're going to divide it by 4 and minus 1 extra inch from that. As an example, my bust was 38 inches. I divided it by 4 to get 9.5 inches, minus 1 extra inch for 8.5 inches for the bust. You do the same thing for your waist and for your hip. And then for the crotch, I'm going to mark it at 1.5 inches. Moving on to your shoulder line, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement, divide it by 2 and mark it on the line there at 7 inches. However, our shoulders are not straight, there is a slope. So you're going to account for that by dropping that measurement down, usually by 1 inch, but I find 1.5 inches works better for me. Now taking your armhole measurement, you're going to divide it by 2. Then drawing a straight line, you're just going to mark it here like so. I made my armhole just a little bit smaller at 8 inches. I just wanted the bodysuit to fit a little tighter around the arm. Because of that, I'm just marking my upper bust line from the end of that armhole. You will see why in just a moment. Next, you're just going to find the midpoint of your armhole depth. So for me, it will be 4 inches. At that midpoint, you're going to take it in 0.5 inches. Now, if you're smaller, for example, you might want to take it in further up to 1 inch. To start creating your armhole curve, you're going to start connecting all your dots. So from the top of the shoulder to the midpoint, and then you can either freehand it or use your curved ruler, and you're just going to connect your midline over to your upper bust line. Now I'm just going to start connecting my bust line over to my waistline, then my waist to my hip. Now for this part, you can literally make it however you like. You can make it as small, as big as you want. It just depends on the coverage you're looking for. I'm just going to use my curved ruler just for the purpose of this video. So this is just the basic bodice front. Now, depending on how you like your clothes to fit, you can customize it how you would like, whether you like it to have a looser fit or a tighter fit. I just did the standard waist to hip ratio, but if you would like, for example, your bodysuit to end at the waist and connect all the way down to the crotch, you can do that too. And just using a different color marker, I'm going to start to work on the back of the bodice. For the neck hole, the back is usually a little bit higher, so I'm just going to mark down 1 inch and connect like so. Now for the back of the armhole, it's not as steep as the front. So you're just going to connect from the original midpoint over to your upper bust line. You're just going to add 4 extra inches from the original crotch depth for the back of the bodysuit. That way it will reach all the way under, and then you can connect your snap fasteners from the front. Now how you want the back of the bodysuit to fit is entirely up to you. This all depends on how much coverage you want. Whether you want it to be a brief style or if you want it to be a thong bodysuit, it's all up to you. Now you can either add a 0.5 inches seam allowance all around the back of the bodysuit, but for me, I decided I'll just do that later when I put the pattern onto my actual fabric. So now you're just going to take your paper scissors and you're going to cut along the back of the bodysuit first. So I'll just have the back paper, as you can see, will be the back of the bodysuit, and I'm just going to label it. I am going to mention though that there is no seam allowance, so I won't forget for when I'm actually making an item with it. And now I'm just going to cut out for the front of the bodysuit. And again, I'm just going to mark that that is the front and that I did not put a seam allowance. It's entirely up to you if you want to just take the back bodysuit pattern and then just enter the same measurements, but I'm not going to do that as I'm too lazy. It's for my eyes only anyways. Now once you transfer over your pattern onto your fabric and create your bodysuit, you might have to make changes here and there. It all depends on the level of stretch your fabric has. My next video will be how to actually construct the bodysuit with this pattern we just made. And now you have your own bodysuit pattern based off your own measurements. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!